I want you to listen to Giuliani's reaction when a disclaimer was suddenly added to his radio show.
They should do a disclaimer. They should do a fucking... Here's a disclaimer. Rudy Giuliani content, okay? I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer. Rudy Giuliani. Trigger warning.
The views, assumptions, and opinions expressed by former U.S. Attorney, former attorney to the President of the United States, and New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, his guests and callers on his program are strictly their own and do not necessarily represent the opinions, beliefs, or policies of WABC Radio.
Now, it's former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani on New York's Talk Radio 77 WABC.
I would have thought they would have told me about that before just doing what they just did. Rather insulting.
That's so good, dude. Oh, that's so
It
fucked.
gives you a sense of how far this free speech thing.
It's true. His only good year was 2001, and it's literally because of 9/11. I know. He was considered America's mayor because he was the mayor during, you know, in the aftermath and during 9/11. So he's just like...
...is gone. I also think putting it on without telling me, not the right thing to do.
Damn, imagine peaking on 9/11, dude. It's pretty fucked.
Not the right thing to do at all.
I guess same shit happened to George W. Bush, too, though.
Laura, sounds like his station was worried about getting sued.
Well, they should be. And I note that I do a 3-hour radio show 5 days a week live with no disclaimer. Why is that, Anna? And why do most people never do that? Because most people don't have to have the 10-foot pole extended out because of careless statements that jeopardize the ability.
Now that the KEKW guy died, I think it would be respectful of you to retire KEKW permanently. It's the right thing to do. Fuck no, dude. What a dumb fucking take. Are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not, dude. God damn. It's literally the opposite, dude. KEKW all the fucking way. Kidding me, dude?
Of a news organization or otherwise to say that we actually are presenting facts and information. We begin with facts and then invite you to form an opinion after that.
Like Total Biscuit passed away as well. Imagine saying like, oh, Lol W should be retired permanently. People would lose their fucking minds, rightfully, by the way, and understandably. W had the highest approval rating of any president ever. Yeah, I know. I know W had the highest approval rating of any president ever because of 9/11, literally.
If you begin with opinion and want to work backwards and make up your facts, well, you run into issues that he's in right now, including the defamation suits. Over the period of 2 weeks, he had $2 billion plus lawsuits against him. Why was that, Anna? Because he began with the opinion and tried to work backwards in a way that he did not do in a court of law when he was asked, but tried to do it in a court of opinion. He made disparaging comments. He is now made liable and jeopardized the ability of Fox News and other outlets to be able to profess that they are trying to be straight shooters. You can decide what you want about them in the first place about that issue. But the idea here that every type of speech is not protected. This is a real fallacy, Anna, right. As you know. The idea that everyone says free speech is everything. We always have constraints and parameters. And when you're telling lies, when you're defaming, when you are threatening or inciting, among other things, you don't have the same protection under the...
Jesus Christ.
So, let's have trial by combat.
This guy put everything out there for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, in the end, literally dropped him. Well, didn't like full-blown drop him, but kind of dropped him. Not because of the horrible job he was doing, but because he looked like shit when his hair was like fucking dripping. When his hair dye was dripping over his face. Like, he literally said, Rudy Giuliani looked terrible on TV. He's not doing a good job. And to be fair, he did look like shit. Like, he did look absolutely awful. He deserves it.
I'm willing to stake my reputation. The president is willing to stake his reputation.
Yeah, right, dude. Was he? Were they? Were you guys?
on the fact that we're going to find criminality there. Is Joe Biden willing to stake his reputation that there's no crime there?
What reputation, motherfucker? What are we talking about? Reputation.
No.
Rather rich in irony there, David Chalian, in the sense that Rudy Giuliani and his legal team were made fools of in more than 70 courts across America, where judges, even judges appointed by Donald Trump, said, leave. You have no evidence. Stop coming back. This is ridiculous. So now you see him mocking Joe Biden there, but the tables have turned with the service of this warrant on his Upper East Side apartment.
Yeah, I think Giuliani was probably right there that Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani's reputations were on the line with going forward with the big lie, and I think their reputations suffered because of it. Remember, John, you know this well from talking inside to Trump sources and those around the Trump orbit. Rudy Giuliani, especially towards the end, once we were in the election and election challenging season, he was a very divisive figure even inside the Trump orbit. There were people that thought, you know, that press conference he held at the Republican Party headquarters pursuing some of this big lie stuff, and then that bizarre press conference in Philadelphia. There were not a lot of established Republican election lawyers.
Can you explain the whole Hunter Biden thing? Yes, he is a giant fucking cock, and he did crack back in the day, and conservatives are just jealous that he fucks. The end.
Who were rallying around to the president's call that there was this totally illegitimate election that somehow had occurred because there was no evidence. You cited the actual results in court, and there were many folks inside Trump's world who thought Giuliani was perhaps a bit too far off in the way in which he was trying to stick with the president and pursue the manner in which he was trying to pursue this notion of the big lie.
Quick to sign on to conspiracy theories, and Evan Perez, come back to the conversation. That is one of the questions about the work in Ukraine as well. Quick to believe people who had sordid reputations, in this case, reputations with Russia. Walk me through. This is a new Justice Department, as you just noted. How do they handle, what are the rules in place about handling an investigation of such enormous political sensitivity?
Look, I think this is a very cautious Justice Department. Merrick Garland is a former judge, and we've already seen some of the impact of having a judge who takes his time to make decisions. And look, that's not a bad thing, and it's not a criticism. Certainly Bill Barr was known to come into meetings, sometimes already had his mind made up. Sometimes, on bad information, he would make decisions very quickly. This Attorney General is somebody who is a lot more careful, and so you have to believe that there was a lot more that went into this before this was approved.
Right, given that caution, it tells you something that the warrant was served.
You just have me Google Hunter Biden nudes. How can you read all chat? Respect, thanks. You didn't get my TTS, so I'm writing here. I'm a 17-year-old from Italy. I really want to thank you for what you did to me. I'm sorry to get political, but I really am grateful for the fact that you opened my eyes. I was a little fuck who watched Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder. I studied Marxist school and started watching you. I changed for the better. I'm a proud communist. For real, thank you. I truly love you and your message. Damn, I got Italians up in here, dude. I apologize for all of the fraidophobia that I... Ben Shapiro would update?
All right, everybody, I'm backstage at Candace, and I just found a guy who recently did some shopping at Home Depot. And what, sir, are you going to do with that piece of wood?
I'm going to auction that wood off. Somebody else should have that wood.
Somebody else should have that wood. Ben Shapiro.
It's kind of weird that they're like trying to operate like fucking Minecraft streamers, you know what I mean? Like they have a little universe where they're like friends with one another, but the reality is like their audience is not fucking 14-year-old girls. Their audience is all like old ass neck-bearded men and divorced dads. So they're not gonna be able to build that, you know? God damn, dude, I really wish they could be funny. Like I just Wait, so he's gonna make money off of a dying business? Seems kind of fuck shit, people. Yeah, no one gives a shit. You should get the wood. You fucking kidding me? You think I'm gonna buy? You think I'm gonna give Ben Shapiro money? Are you crazy? You out of your mind, dude? Absolutely not. The entertainment is multifaceted or double layered. It's entertaining because it's only entertaining because they're trying to be entertaining desperately and failing miserably at it. You know what I mean? So then it ends up becoming entertaining. Their audience less emotionally mature than the Minecraft audience for sure. Yeah, I mean they're I'm gonna say, hold on. He should give it to his wife so the tennis instructor isn't the only one giving her wood. Gonna get blocked for sure. Just saying, it's exciting that, you know, his wife will finally get Ben Shapiro's wood. I think it's cool. Remember when Shapiro said he'd had paternity tests on both his wife's kids? Wait, what? That's not real. Is that real? Just told my 10-year-old daughter about El Recetas. She had tears in her eyes. And then she did the Wakanda post and said, Wakanda forever, which is a sort of pop culture crossover that I can celebrate. True. God damn. I mean, that's like not even. Anyway, ratioed in under 1 minute. What did Noel say? That Turkish turd truck can't hypnotize me? What the fuck? You're going to jail, dude. Ratios should not happen so quickly. No, it's a lot of fun when we do it. We like to have a little fun here. Speaking of ratios, that's not even the one. Shapiro tested his kids? No fucking way, dude. No fucking way. I'm big enough to admit these fake tweets about me are clever, but they paint a very poor picture of my intimate relationship with my wife. You all know that I have 2 children, right? Paternity tested and everything, so you do the math. It's not real. This is not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's a fake tweet. It's not real. It's fake. That's literally a fake tweet. Yeah, there's no way that he actually did that. Or even if he did that, he would never in a million years admit that. Like, he's not that oblivious to fucking social norms. Like, he won't get owned like that. My greatest Ben Shabibo moment was this one, though. Even that fucking centrist, like, right-winger Allah pundit is, like, saying, Fauci, Joe Rogan's comments about young, healthy people not needing a vaccine is incorrect. He tweets this out because now Joe Rogan is in the fucking news cycle again for all the worst ways, for all the worst reasons. The Today Show talked to Fauci about Joe Rogan. And Ben Shapiro is, of course, there to the rescue to be like, actually, he's saying that Joe Rogan is basically correct. Joe argued that if you are worried about getting COVID at 21, if you exercise a lot and are generally healthy, you really shouldn't be. He didn't have anything to say about transmission to others. First of all, he didn't say that. He literally said, don't take the vaccine. If you're 21 and you work out, don't take the vaccine. You can't defend that. Like, he's trying so fucking hard to facts and logic this Joe Rogan take that is just alpha brain. Just say it's alpha brain, brother, and move on. There is no way you can defend that. Joe Rogan stands will defend that. I know. Joe Rogan stands literally are no different than XQC juicers or K-pop stands or fucking, Minecraft stands, except all of those communities are like 14 to 16. Whereas Joe Rogan stands are divorced dads living in Arkansas and learning how to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So it is actually pathetic and way worse. Hasanabi stands, on the other hand, are a little bit older. Okay, a little bit older. The community here is like what? Fucking, I don't know, like 22. We're also hot as fuck. This is true. You know that tweet's fake because why would he test paternity when he knows this is a tennis instructor's kids? True. I mean, guys, I used to be a Joe Rogan stan as well. So the stream aged up once you got rid of Dank Hug. That's not true. Just all those college football, basketball, football players that got COVID weren't healthy young people at all. Yeah, no. We're not going to do another demographics poll right now. Damn, Bub, didn't know you knew Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? I mean, I've never done it. We don't stan you though, lol. We don't support you in droves like regular fans. This is true. My community fucking turns on me on a dime, dude. One aspect that, one take that you don't fucking agree with and it's over. I'm fucking dead. Might as well be murdered on scene, on site. Wow, I can't believe Hasanabi is literally a racist. It's like, I've been watching him for 2.5 years. I've been a subscriber for 2. But this take that he had, how does it feel to know that you are literally a racist? Like, what was I lying to you for 2.5 years? Like, you couldn't pick up on it? I literally don't like you on a personal level. What the fuck does that mean, dude? You just have reasonable political takes? Like, I don't understand what that means. Like, I fucking despise you, but I agree with you politically, so I just keep up with what you're saying. Like, I literally don't like you on a personal level. Like, what the fuck? That's so weird. It's kind of weird, dude. So I plan to wear my mask and continue to social distance till the vaccine is at least FDA approved, which is not. According to your rants this past week, I think it's safe to assume that you don't think I have that right. What? You think that I believe that you don't have the right to wear a fucking mask in public? What do you think, that I'm Tucker Carlson, dude? Are you lost? Wow, you just misunderstood the fuck out of what that guy said. Also, the vaccine is FDA approved. When Ludwig says, I'm not your friend to his audience, your audience says it to you instead. Yeah. Not having full-blown FDA approval doesn't mean that the vaccine is not fucking safe for use. There's obviously testing. It's not like they... Guys, they don't fucking... Like, there's still a process where they... There's still a process in which the vaccine is tested. It's authorized for emergency use, but even that authorization alone has a tremendous amount of fucking testing that it goes through. They don't just roll the dice on the vaccine and they're just like, all right, lol, let's go. Let's go, boyos. Fuck it, dude. Shove this thing right in your body. Anyway. Also, there's a multitude of things that are FDA approved that are literally fucking murdering you on a daily basis. Like McDonald's. And you fucking like Jack in the Box tacos and shit that you shove in your fucking body without even consideration, without a second thought. You know? Anyway.
So I want to ask you.
Let's see what Anthony Fauci had to say about Bro Jogan.
Popular podcast host Joe Rogan, you may have heard about this, made comments about young people getting vaccinated. It's getting a lot of buzz. He said, if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I say no. If you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, I don't think you need to worry about this. Saying young, healthy people shouldn't get vaccinated. Just quickly, your response?
Well, that's incorrect, Savannah. And the reason why is that you're talking about yourself in a vacuum then. You're worried about yourself getting infected and likelihood that you're not going to get any symptoms.
Again, vaccinations aren't for you, you fucking asshole. I mean, they are for you, but they're not just for you. They're for everyone else. Same with the fucking masks. Oh my God, dude. Americans are so fucking selfish.
But you can get infected and will get infected if you put yourself at risk. And even if you don't have any symptoms, you're propagating the outbreak because it is likely that you, even if you have no symptoms, that you may inadvertently and innocently then infect someone else who might infect someone who really could have a problem with a severe outcome. Yeah. So if you want to only worry about yourself and not society, then that's okay. But if you're saying to yourself, even if I get infected, I could do damage to somebody else, even if I have no symptoms at all. And that's the reason why you've got to be careful and get vaccinated.
Yeah, so you say young, healthy people should get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Dr. Fauci, as always, appreciate you getting up early with us. Thank you.
Good to be with you, Savannah.
This video is brought to you. Take care.
I got a good video on anti-vaxxers as well, by the way, from Wisecrack. Joe Rogan is viewing vaccines from a libertarian individual lens. He knows their purpose is for herd immunity, but he's been hanging out too much with libertarians. He really lost human empathy. It is really, really fucking stupid, dude. Joe Rogan Joe Rogan has some of the dumbest fucking takes lately. Ever since he moved to Texas, it is really bad. I don't know what else to say about
address
it.
tonight. He's going to lay out an ambitious agenda tonight in his first address to a joint session of Congress, a day after a major update on the use of masks. He'll talk about his push to get more Americans vaccinated and also a key pillar of his strategy.
Yeah, libertarians not care about others. Libertarians really just took being selfish and made it their political ideology. Like, they literally, in America, they were just like, oh, yeah, no, my political ideology is I'm a selfish person. Oh, okay, sick, dude. Never mind. Oh, it's tight, dude. It's so weird. It blows my fucking mind, honestly. Yeah, my political ideology is I'm a selfish idiot.
Strategy to get the economy back in shape. The so-called American Families Plan would help struggling families pay for preschool and community college, in part by raising taxes on the wealthy. Weijia Zhang is at the White House for us. Weijia, good morning to you. That is just one part of what would be a pretty big ask from Congress. What else can we expect tonight?
Good morning to you, Tony, and good morning to everybody. President Biden's speech will be historic, both on the substance and the style, because of the pandemic and who is sitting behind him. For the
God. Okay. All of the substance and the style is fucking who gives a shit. He's going to unroll a pretty solid plan. Like his like further American Families Plan, which will further solidify recovery. It's got some benefits for families with kids up to 4 years old, free community college, and also his goal on funding this proposal is pretty solid too. IRS gets $80 billion, if I'm not mistaken on the numbers. They'll probably talk about it. We'll look at it again. Actually, not that bad. The other thing is raising the top marginal tax rate, or not top marginal tax rate, sorry, corporate tax rate. I think the other tax increases are going to come from capital gains being taxed like income. Like the capital gains tax raising to the same levels as like income tax. Here's the outline. The new White House unveils $1.8 trillion plan. The plan pays for itself in 15 years, according to Joseph Robinette's team. Pre-K to all 3 and 4-year-olds, universal free 2-year community college, robust paid family leave, child benefit through 25, paid for by higher taxes on the super rich, and IRS enforcement. It's solid. Probably shouldn't be telling this, but my uncle is Joe's bodyguard at his compound, and honestly, he sucks up to Joe so hard and always defends things he says, especially about his vaccine shit. Oh, bro Jogans? Yeah. Child care dollar caps cost at 7% of income. White House says average family saves $15,000 a year, $200 billion for ACA subsidies. No dedicated dollars to the expansion of Medicare, unfortunately. $1 trillion spending, 8 trillion, 0.8 in credits. Pell Grants. Oh, Pell Grants are coming back. HBCUs. The earned income tax credit is permanent. We'll look at it in a bit. We'll look at the details in a second. But this is what the reveal is going to be about.
Spots will be filled by women. Vice President Kamala Harris and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. About 200 people are expected to attend in person compared to the normal 1,600. But the president will have a chance to unveil that latest legislative proposal to the American public, this time focusing on so-called human infrastructure. Tonight, on the eve of his 100th day in office, President Biden will introduce the American Families Plan. The administration said it would save the average family $13,000 and offer free preschool for all 3- and 4-year-olds, along with 2 free years of community college for all. It would also extend the child tax credit through 2025. Officials said tax reform and increases on the wealthiest Americans will pay for the nearly $2 trillion package. The president's first address to Congress will cover his other priorities too: police reform, immigration, gun safety, foreign policy, and ending the pandemic. On Tuesday, the CDC announced fully vaccinated people can ditch their masks outdoors if they're not in a big crowd.
This is another great reason to go get vaccinated now.
Ahead of tonight's speech, Democrats are praising the president's performance so far.
The average American needs to feel that they have a really bright and sunny future, something they haven't felt in a while.
While Republicans are already pouncing.
I knew the president would be left of center. And I understand that elections have consequences, but I never thought he'd be left of linen.
Okay, dude, you tried that on the Tucker Carlson broadcast. He's like, yeah, that really fucking slapped. A lot of people chuckled at it. And these people haven't laughed. These people haven't laughed since MLK was assassinated. You know, it's hard to make them laugh. So I'm going to keep reusing that joke over and over again, I think.
100 days, this president doesn't want bipartisanship.
Advisor said President Biden is very...
Come on, brother, really? That was too far, guys? Too far? Really?
Well, this morning, we are learning new details about President Biden's address to a joint session of Congress tonight. A key theme will be a government that works. One White House official said the address will be something of a victory lap on his administration's handling of the pandemic, vaccination campaign, and the immediate impact of the American Rescue Plan, including the stimulus checks. It will also be a, quote, sober assessment of what we've been through, and a, quote, clear-eyed assessment of the challenges we still face. The White House says racial justice will be another major theme. One official tells NBC News the president will make a, quote, effusive push for the Senate to take up the police reform bill that has already passed the House. Senator Tim Scott, the lead Republican negotiator on police reform, will deliver the GOP response. There will be no guests in the gallery, so that it'll sound very different as well. Lawmakers will be seated there to allow for social distancing.
They're sitting close. They're fucking married, bro.
House Minority Whip Steve Scalise says just 25 House Republicans will be present, many of them freshman members. Senator John Thune expects 60 senators will attend, 30 from each party. Prior to his remarks, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the president will meet with staffers who were inside the Capitol during the January 6th attack. The White House says he will take his message on the road beginning tomorrow with a trip to Georgia. Friday, the president will visit Philadelphia, where he will also mark the 50th anniversary of Amtrak. Willie?
Of course he will. He also tonight in the address will formally announce his American Families Plan that expands health care, child care, and education assistance. The president reportedly will ask Congress to pay for the entirety of the $1.8 trillion in new spending by increasing taxes on the wealthy, including increasing the top marginal tax rate and nearly doubling the capital gains rate. The administration also plans to use revenue from some of the corporate tax increases he announced last month. So, Rev, $1.8 trillion, this is a new package in addition to the $1.9 trillion we had for the COVID relief, $2.25 trillion proposed for infrastructure, $1.8 trillion here. This is really about education. It's about fighting.
I can't believe this is Stalin's future for America. This is literally Joseph Stalin. Joseph Robinette Stalin, folks. This is not even Marx or Engels. This is Joseph Robinette Stalin.
Fighting poverty, it extends education, pre-K, makes that national, and then pays for 2 years of free community college. So extends, frankly, our education system from K through 12, pre-K into college, among other things. What do you make of the plan and what you might hear from the president tonight?
The plan is necessary because you must remember we're dealing with this in light of a nation that has been virtually in lockdown for over a year. And many of our youngsters were students out for a year, those that are in areas with broadband deserts that couldn't even do education online. We need this investment to not only bring us to an even playing field, but to play catch up for those that were already behind before the pandemic, now are handicapped even further. So I think that when you look at the context in which the president is making this address and reaching out and making this request, you must say that the president is right on point here. So I'm anxious to see how he lays it out. I'm anxious to see what his emphasis is on racial justice and policing. I think that you've got to deal with the time in which we're in, and the forecast for this speech tonight says the president is going to address the times, not duck the times.
Elizabeth, the numbers really are staggering. We're just throwing around trillions and trillions, using that term very casually at this point. This new plan, the proposal we'll hear tonight about education, does call for another tax increase. We already know that the plan we're in the middle of discussing right now in infrastructure is being held up by Republicans because of a proposed tax increase. What are the prospects for getting all this legislation through the Congress?
Well, I think they're going to have to. I don't think they're going to get any Republican votes for it. If you add up all the three different packages of infrastructure, human infrastructure, and stimulus, it's $6 trillion. That's extraordinary. Yeah. And the president is proposing to pay for this by increasing taxes on the rich, raising the top marginal rate to 39%. He's also proposing to give $80 billion to the IRS to crack down on tax cheats. So if you make more than $400,000 a year, you have a much better chance, if this passes, of getting audited. And they're arguing that they can generate $1 trillion in extra money from.
Streamers be like, tax the rich, but not me. Yeah, dude. I'm so bummed, dude. I'm so mad. Oh no, dude. I fucking hate that the rich are getting taxed. It's fuck. This is making me very upset, which is why if you hate me, you should be on board with this, because it's making me mad.
You know, getting people to pay their fair share of taxes. We shall see. But I don't think they're going to get any Republican votes. This is going to be done through the process called reconciliation. And I think it's only going to pass with Democratic votes, including, interestingly enough, there's a lot in the infrastructure plan, the traditional infrastructure plan, that Republicans like: bridges, roads, tunnels. And, it looks like some Republicans are going to vote for big infrastructure plans in their own districts. And, but there's just no, given these tax increases, I don't think there's any prospect of getting Republican votes.
Willie, and I wonder about Joe Manchin.
I don't really care, but do you have an accountant that does weird stuff to lower your taxes? I have an accountant, but I don't know what you mean by like weird stuff to lower your taxes. I'm in a very unique predicament where, as a streamer who streams 12 fucking hours a day, I literally can't even fucking write off like the actual legitimate amount that I utilize things. Like, technically, it would be I eat my food all the time on camera, so it's technically a business expense that you could write off, but you can't really do that. You know what I mean? It's all legal, actually, nothing weird. I mean, tax avoidance probably is what a lot of people are talking about, but weird stuff like paying your siblings as employees so you claim less profits. No, I don't do stuff like that. I can't do that. Is a Twitch streamer a 1099 contract worker? Yes, I have a 1099. If the wealthy actually get taxed as a result of this, I think you'll be able to hear it on air raid siren in America. No. Pretty sure that guy's an IRS plant. I mean, no. That's not avoidance, that's evasion. I'm a freelance designer. I work nearly all day and can write off more than I can actually think of. These tax hikes will de-incentivize streamers to create new content. Just imagine the innovation and content lost under no tax. Yeah. A YouTuber talks about writing off buying his soda as a business expense. I don't know why you couldn't. A 1099 contract means that Amazon pays me as a... Why is chat trying to get you audited? Leftists don't have fun. Okay? So their fun is probably like holding people accountable in their minds. And holding people accountable in their minds for some is like trying to clip and ship a streamer, their favorite streamer too, saying something that feels like he's fucking avoiding taxes or some shit. Because what the YouTuber is doing is illegal, I'm a CPA and people overclaim. IRS just doesn't audit that closely unless you get picked in an audit lottery. Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. If you get audited, you get fucked. For a lot of like people in Hollywood or whatever, a lot of people in California that like deduct shit that's like fucking crazy. Like, for example, you could technically deduct like clothing that you purchase, right? But if you get audited, you would literally get fucking your cheeks clapped because the clothing that you purchase has to straight up be like what do you call it? Like not clothing that you would normally wear, but clothing that you specifically purchased for a show. Like you would have to prove it basically that this is a costume. It needs to be work only clothing. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you deduct your tiny head? Yeah. That's what I do. Yeah, it needs to be not normal. So what you're saying is you don't own a company possibly called, I don't know, Mogul Moves or something to pay yourself with? Interesting. Will's Uno uniform? But that's rental anyway. Is that why Crowder has to wear those gun holsters? No, I think he wears those because CPA here, you can't deduct food as a business expense anymore, and clothing expenses are itemized deductions, which would require you to have over 12.5K in total deductions, or else you would be better off taking the standard deduction. You should start a competitor to Amazon for tax writers called Amazon.
Kirsten Sinema. So I think if you add up all of the COVID relief bills from last year and this year, it adds up to about $4 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. You add on top of that the 1.9. Are you at on top of that, the $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan? You at on top of that now, $1.8 trillion. I mean, man, I don't know. Well, I don't know how those numbers add up. I'm just a simple country lawyer. But at some point, $1 trillion here.
Oh, yeah. Classic, dude. Classic. I'm glad that everyone is back to being fucking deficit hawks and austerity sharks. You know, now that America is good again, boys. Now that Trump, the orange man, is gone, we're back to usual broadcasting where it's like, haha, those numbers, I mean, they don't add up.
$1 trillion there, as Dirksen said. Soon, you're talking about real money.
Yeah, it is extraordinary, and I know Republicans who are trying now. There have been some behind-the-scenes meetings about infrastructure, about trying to get pieces of this giant bill that they can agree on.
Are you going to cover Biden banning menthol cigarettes? No, I don't give a shit, dude. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to hear. Now you want me to spend another $1.8 trillion and raise taxes again on somebody else. Sam Stein, obviously, the infrastructure bill is difficult enough. Tonight, President Biden's going to lay another $1.8 trillion proposal on a Congress that he's trying to get to do this deal that he's in the middle of right now in infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, Elizabeth's absolutely right. The idea that there will be Republican votes for this is wishful thinking, I would say, is a good way to put it. Probably not going to happen. Ironically, the tax hikes that they are calling for to pay for this stuff poll better than the package sometimes. People want to soak it to the rich. They want to soak it to corporations, rich Americans, raise the marginal rates, go for it. I just want to step back and note just how extraordinary.
A debt a country takes on is more similar to a debt a corporation takes on than a debt a person would take on. Whereas the debt pays itself back in improving efficiency for the entirety of the labor force. But we don't talk about it like that. We talk about it in much simpler terms. That is, of course, when you don't recognize the fact that the United States prints the rest of the fucking 80% of the entire world's money, or controls everything, regardless, and therefore, it's not really backed by gold or anything, and just confidence.
This package is that he is going to introduce tonight. You know, any one of the components in this package, whether it's parental leave, child tax credits, pre-K, on their own would have been a policy white whale for Democrats. I mean, these are generational struggles that the party has pursued. They're going to bundle it all together and say, let's do it at once. And it will be
another dumb take. No, you're right. Debt to the country incurs is, dude. No, debt to the country incurs is actually just like a household, dude. You're right. Thank you, Lake McGrew, for clapping his ass cheeks, but
a monumental.
No, it's not. LMAO. No, Taste the Rambo thinks it is. So, and
restructuring, if it passes, a monumental restructuring of the American economy. It will dramatically overhaul the composition and of our workforce. It will juice workforce productivity in ways that we probably aren't familiar with. But it could, you know, on the flip side, you know, if you're concerned about deficits, you know, first of all, you should have spoken out a bit more during the Trump years. But, you know, now you're confronted with what Joe notes as trillions and trillions of dollars of spending, even though this portion will be paid for. But, you know, you might be concerned about overheating the economy and inflation, too. So those are the things he has to juggle, those concerns, in addition to the idea that Republicans will come back at him and say, look, this is just too much spending too fast. There's no way you should be going it alone like this on these monumental, huge packages. You need to slow it down.
Biden can't deliver on new spending plans, says Gingrich. I don't really care, dude. This stuff is like boring, but radical. Ted Cruz previews Biden's address to Congress. I don't really want to watch this stuff. Okay. Let's move on
if
to
healthcare
some
is a
lighter stuff from the New York Times here. Before I do this though, what does healthcare, U.S. healthcare look like abroad? I'm gonna hit you guys with the top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break. You already know. You already fucking know, dude.
In May of
what the deal is, what the dealio is, boys. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You get one free Prime subscription a month. You know, you can use it on me every moment that you're not using it. What does Ludwig say? Every moment that you're not using your fucking Twitch Prime, you're wasting like a cent or something. Amazon. God, I am so fucking tired. That basketball stream fucked me up, dude. Playing basketball outdoors, even if it's like once a week, still fucks me up. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm fucking... Amazon? Pogo. Here's the ad break now, boys.
Constitutional right, then. That's a form of communism because no country could afford those payments without seizing the assets of everybody else.
Welcome to Finland.
Are you still working out? Yeah.
Oh.
Dudes, what's going on? Oh my god!
It's making me so mad. I mean, come on, guys. It's not that hard. Look around the world. Everyone else seems to have figured it out, right? Imagine you're in America. Which of these options would be best for you?
That's a lot to think about.
Oh, also, this doesn't even get into, hey guys, the fun part about this, I just recently did this, so let me tell you, the fun part about this entire process is that it doesn't even talk about PPOs versus HMOs versus more complex fucking forms of insurance where you pick and choose different parts that you want coverage on. So, you know, you have provider networks. Like, is it in-network? Is it does your insurance plan allow you to go to the hospital that is out of your network? So, yeah, there's a POS plan. It's great. Oof, 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 oof.
What is an OOP max?
I guess with what I got here, I would go with plan
Out-of-pocket maximum that you have to pay.
D because the deductible is 0.
Okay, there's more.
Gold, HMO.
Oh, here it is.
PPO, HMO.
And what are copays? I don't get... That's like if you pay for Spotify Premium and Spotify still makes you pay every time you listen to a song.
It's too complicated.
I'm lost. I'm so lost.
In Canada, I don't have to really think about the different plans that I could pick from.
You just pay one amount per month and all the major treatments are covered.
At least 70% of our medical expenses are always covered.
That's communism! Triggering the fuck out of me! You fucking kidding me? I need my insurance program to resemble motherfucking DLCs like a goddamn EA video game. I need to make sure that if I'm purchasing insurance, that I'm subscribing with a monthly fee, and then also on top of that, I want to make sure that to unlock the rest of the insurance, I got to pay more. I need this shit to have microtransactions, brother.
Uninsured, unable to afford treatment for a tooth infection that keeps flaring up. Oh. Cook Emma Rittner lost her job in March.
I did manage to get antibiotics from a friend whose mom regularly goes down to Mexico, and I've been taking that, self-medicating, based off of Dr. Google's advice.
Dr. Google's advice.
Here in Japan, even if you lose a job, you would never lose your health insurance.
When you lose your job, that's when
society should.
I've said this before. Domestically, it's the worst thing that the American government has done to its people. Like, bar none. I'm sorry. Like, our healthcare industry is the most cruel and unusual thing that any modern contemporary OECD nation has done to its own citizens. Straight up. It's even worse. I would go so far as to say it's even worse than our fucking criminal justice system and even worse than our carceral system in general. Domestically. It is absolutely, completely, bar none, psychopathic. Also, even if you were to talk about the criminal justice system, for example, well, okay, criminal justice system disproportionately targets black and brown people. Fine. But so does the healthcare system. So it is the most abhorrent, the most violent thing that the healthcare system does. Or that the American government does to its own citizens. Straight up.
Help you?
I've chosen a creative job and had the backing of a healthcare system.
Motherfucker be like slavery and internment camps. I'm talking about right now. That's why I said contemporary, comparable OECD nations, dude. Like obviously I'm not talking about slavery, okay?
But if you don't have that, do you pick the safe job or do you pick the creative job?
The average price per unit for insulin in 2018.
Germany, $11.
Canada's $12.
Well, I was going to say, where's the United States? Because I didn't see anything resembling $100.
Wow. It's like 8 times the price of insulin in Canada. I guess that explains why Americans come up to Canada to buy medication.
Stop laughing! Stop laughing, motherfucker! This is triggering me. This is, oh God, this is literally all of you in the chat. All of you fucking Eurocucks. All of you fucking Canada motherfuckers like, oh, what's going on down there, eh?
I'm sorry, hold on. So the FDA doesn't have any authority over the prices?
We have also privatized health insurance.
There is one form of authority in the form of legislation, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who do not know, which makes it actually illegal, with the exception of the VA, which recently got that right under, I think it was like under the Obama administration, in the last couple of years under the Obama administration. The American pharmaceutical industry has such a strong stranglehold, or rather a stronghold over the way that legislation is written in this country, that it is literally illegal to make collective bargaining agreements that lower medication pricing in this country. You just cannot do it. Okay? They said it straight up. Like, the expensive mediators, the expensive middlemen, like the insurance industry, cannot lower pharmaceutical prices when they're purchasing. This is the only country on the planet where we not only don't lower medical prices. Medicare is banned from negotiating pharmaceutical prices. Yes, Medicare is banned from negotiating pharmaceutical prices. We are the only country where it's illegal to do so. Every other country on the planet purchases medication for their single-payer healthcare systems or the universal healthcare systems, and when they're purchasing it, they bargain and lower the prices, which is part of the reason why this happens. Where the price of insulin is fucking $6 in Australia, but it's $98 in the United States of America.
Wow. It's like 8 times.
Negotiates the prices and fixes that price
in Germany.
Over the prices?
We have also privatized health insurance companies in Germany, but the prices are regulated by the government.
Yes. Healthcare in Germany is technically private, but there is severe price regulation over the way healthcare works. So you have the option to pick and choose whichever program that you're going to pick and choose. But those programs are not trying to fuck you or can't fuck you because they're controlled by the government.
The government.
And even if you can't afford any of those programs, there's still some form of healthcare coverage that you can get by the government.
Negotiates the prices and fixes that price for 2 years.
In Singapore, they regulate this stuff to keep the prices down and, you know, avoid like this happening.
Right, so I'm looking at an American medical bill.
Why is it so expensive?
$428,000 for rooms and such empty spaces. What?
Much cheaper to go Hilton Hotel than this one.
Skin to skin after C-section is $39.
I had